One post-game interview, that's all it took. One comment from Stephanie White, and suddenly the entire basketball world looked like it was about to split in half again. Caitlin Clark fans were already watching closely, but after this game, they started treating every sentence like evidence in a courtroom case. And the craziest part? What Stephanie White said wasn't even controversial on the surface, but the internet didn't hear a normal compliment. They heard something else completely. They heard an admission, a delayed realization. And once that idea started spreading online, everything spiraled out of control, because the night actually started with pure chaos on the court. Caitlin Clark came into that game playing with an edge people hadn't seen in weeks. Not just scoring, not just passing. She looked angry, physical, aggressive. Every possession felt personal. Then came the moment everybody clipped immediately. The deep three, the stare down, and the energy shift that changed the entire arena. Suddenly, the game stopped feeling like a regular matchup and started feeling like a rivalry brewing in real time. Tiffany Hayes tried matching the intensity, but fans instantly believed Clark wanted all the smoke. Every crossover, every shot, every reaction became fuel for social media. And when Clark started barking back instead of staying quiet, the internet completely lost its mind. Fans were saying this was the moment she finally stopped taking disrespect from the league. Others claimed she crossed a line and was becoming too emotional. But either way, nobody could stop talking about it. And honestly, that's when things really started getting dangerous for Stephanie White. Because after the game, she stepped into a media session that fans were already prepared to dissect frame by frame. At first, it sounded harmless. White praised Caitlin Clark's control, talked about her attacking the rim, mentioned her leadership and impact on both sides of the floor. Standard coach talk. Normally, that type of comment disappears 5 minutes later. But not this time. This time, fans immediately noticed something in the tone. They started saying it sounded forced, rehearsed, almost like somebody finally realized they couldn't avoid giving Clark credit anymore. Clips started spreading everywhere with people joking it looked like a hostage video. Others said White sounded like someone carefully choosing every word to avoid making things worse. And once that narrative started rolling, there was no stopping it. Because Clark's fan base has developed a reputation already. When they think she's being overlooked, they go nuclear online. And that's exactly what happened here. Suddenly, old frustrations came flying back into the conversation. Fans started bringing up games earlier in the season when Clark got pulled early. They replayed clips questioning rotations. They revisited moments where they believed the offense wasn't fully centered around her. Some were even saying the organization took way too long to realize who their franchise player really was. And that frustration kept building because every game seemed to add more evidence to their argument. While everybody else debated narratives, Caitlin Clark kept putting up numbers that were impossible to ignore. Elite scoring, elite assists, constant defensive attention. Teams were trapping her near half court, changing their entire schemes just to slow her down, and she was still controlling games. That's when the MVP conversation stopped feeling like fan fantasy and started becoming something much louder. Supporters weren't asking anymore. They were demanding recognition. The phrase MVP campaign started showing up everywhere online. Fans believed the league was witnessing something historic in real time and moving way too slowly to acknowledge it. And honestly, the numbers backed up a lot of the hype. Clark wasn't just producing highlights, she was dictating entire games. Defenses looked uncomfortable every time she touched the ball because one mistake instantly turned into a deep three or a perfect pass slicing through traffic. Even when she didn't score, she controlled tempo in a way that changed how opponents played. And fans started arguing that the Fever weren't just building around a young star anymore, they were becoming completely dependent on her presence. That's when the backlash got even uglier. Because the louder the hype became, the harder critics pushed back. Some people started claiming Clark fans were turning every moment into a conspiracy. Others said she was becoming too dramatic on the floor. One viral post even claimed she had become unwatchable compared to her Iowa days. That triggered another explosion online. Clark supporters fired back instantly, saying she was finally standing up for herself after months of physical play, trash talk, and constant targeting from opponents. According to them,